Hello, students. How are you? I'm your Bomik sir. Good afternoon, all of you. I think you remember the first two parts of that one. We are all locked down due to the pandemic, corona, that we all understand. But we should be in touch with the studies. This is the reason we have created a digital platform. On the basis of that, we are doing a lot, trying our level best to do something for you from the school side, Daffodils World School. So here we are, and there are a few topics of English we have already sent, or it will be in the process of sending. As it reaches you, you start accordingly and give each and every subject equal importance. Mind you, not only English, not only Hindi, science, maths, everything should be given equal importance. Sitting at your home, you should be in touch with studies. Okay, boys and girls. So, Bhamik sir, HOD English. So, we start with the part 3 of your English reader book, the NCRT book, part 1 and 2. We had already gone through. Here is the name of the chapter. I'll show you again. It was the best Christmas present. As you will see just now, I'll bring down the chapter's name. The chapter's name, I had already told you that it has a plot and a subplot. And first the author gets a kind of a table that is in the junk shop. It is too old, but he still buys it, and then he puts it in the tin box. And here on that it was written about Jim McPherson delivering. That letter had to be delivered. Last letter he received January 25, 1915. And though he did not like to open the letter and the envelope or whatever you can call it, but still he had to open it. Now here we'll see in the next one, in the part 2, there was an address there, I think so. You went through the address. Now that was to be delivered in December 26. I told you about the World War 1914, 1918, the First World War taking place, and the English and the German fighting. And I told you that how in the part 2 he had gone through a kind of an experience, and that experience he had never forgotten. So he wrote down on the eve of Christmas morning. That was fine. I told you eve means the evening. So here the word is fridge here, and here again I'll tell you this. They are called the Tommies. The English one, that grey coats, I told you again, the grey coats and the long coats wore by the fridge, and somebody came out with a white flag. As I told you, here it is written, white flag is for the peace. And now you see, come on boys, what are we waiting for? And then we had already drawn the picture that it's a no man's land. Here they are fighting, and this is the Tommy side, and this is the Fritz side. This is a barbed wire, and this is what is called a no man's land. So this is the Fritz side, fine. So done. Now next we will go on to how he met with the person called Hans Wolf, and he was from Dusseldorf, cello player he was. And Jim McPherson, I told you he was a school teacher. Okay, here it is written, something which was missed out, I think so, in the last class. So you can understand. I am a school teacher from Dorset in the west of England. Now in this again we'll go on to see that how they were sharing each other's matter. How did Hans Wolf tell that he knew about this Dorset place, and how he could speak such good English. And he read books, like, as you should be reading your books, you should be reading not only your books but some new books or novels or something or the other. He also means Hans Wolf also used to read books, like he had read Far From Madding Crowd. And there was discussion about Bathsheba, Gabriel Oak. These are all the things which are of particular places, either in Germany or in in England. So Now he had a wife. Hans Wolf had a wife. Here it is written. He had a wife and a son. So there, then they spend the time in laughing, talking, drinking, eating, sharing everything. Not only this marzipan I had talked about in the last class. Now next, we will see in the next one they played football match where they had won. The Germans had won 2-1. Here what Hans Wolf said that the goal were wider. I showed you the goal post. If it is a wider goal post, you can score more goals, obviously. So that's why the 2 goals were scored. That's what Hans Wolf said to show friendship. So now then they, after that, the whole night they sang carol songs. Carol songs are sung during the time when after going back to the trenches. Trenches, you understand what are trenches? I tell you where it is written. Here it is written. And the song which was sung is this one. Okay, so this one was sung by the Germans, and below this you will find while shepherds watched, and that was the sung by the Tommies. Tommies means the Englishmen. So these were the carol songs sung, and it was understood that peace and goodwill is much more necessary, and fighting is, nobody liked fighting. Then lastly he concludes with the letter that dearest Connie, my Christmas, by Christmas this time next year the war will be over and everybody will be longing to see peace, longing for the peace. Everybody will be forgetting this instant. Now next, in the third part which we have to start, I gave you the back introduction first. Now here author, we come back to the plot again, and he folded the letter and put it back in his pocket in the envelope, and he drove his car to Bridport. You'll understand this by when I underline this part. Drove to Bridport, a bit away from his place. Understood? Now here, boys and girls, please, I think you had gone through this place, Copper Beaches. Now 12 Copper Beaches. It was house number 12. Now, house number 12 was not there. It was burned down, mind you. Burned. How? It was burnt. Why? Because of the fact there was a fire, and nobody knew why there was a fire. And that was a place where Mrs. Macpherson lived. Miss Connie Macpherson, to whom the letter is written. Who had written the letter? Jim had written the letter. I told you, 2 main persons of the subplots are Jim and Mrs. Macpherson, Connie Macpherson. Now she was how many years old now? Obviously, 101 years old. So quite long back the story was, right? So that was 1914, if you remember. That story was around about 114. Yeah, this is. So here, after this, we go on to see that how the candles, means she generally used candles, and she was a bit not too expensive, try not to be expensive and all these things. So that's why candles must have done the thing of that fire and all these things, caught fire to this one. You see in this 5-6 lines before. Here I'll show you. This caught fire due to candles, and she preferred candles more to that of the electricity, and that was expensive, mind you. That's the thing what the author is trying to tell you, because he got the information as such. So she was shifted to nursing home because she was not well, and the place is in Burlington House on Dorchester Road. That Dorchester Road is on the other side of the town, mind you. Okay, next we go on. This is 2 questions are given in between. Why did the author go to Bridport? You know how old she was. Now here I found a Burlington House nursing home easily enough, and there were paper chains up in the hallway, and a lighted Christmas tree stood there. So why lighted Christmas tree? Generally you what you do is that you just decorate the area. Now, decorate the area to bring a kind of a Christmas present. So, who came out? The matron came out. The matron came out and she offered a mince pie. Mince pie. Mince pie is a kind of a small cake. I understand that. Okay, generally it has been given during time of these kind of celebrations. Okay, now she has no family. Means who has no family? We are talking about. We are talking about Coney here, mind you. Okay, we are talking about Coney here. Now, as we go down, you will see that she was there in the conservatory, sitting on the wicker chairs. Now, what are wicker chairs? Now, wicker chairs are made out of bamboos. Take rest. Now, he went there and said, "Happy Christmas, Coney." Who said? The author said, obviously. I'll make you understand this line. Here. Happy Christmas. Why? That was the Christmas time. And she was sitting there in a room. And that tin box, you remember that this tin box? This tin box was there in the drawer. Which drawer? Yes, that old table which he had got. This person, this was written to this lady, mind you. Okay. Now here we see that he is Jim McPherson here. You see by the lady, he is standing there, and the eyes lit up. Whose eyes lit up? Obviously, the lady's eye lit up because that letter was quite expecting. She was expecting the letter, and the husband also. So as she saw the letter, her eyes lit up with happiness, glow of happiness. See the glow of happiness, the first line there you can see. Now I explained about the desk and this and that. Author was explaining, but she could find out. He could find out that she was not listening. Suddenly, she reached out, took my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. "You told me you would come." Why is this line said? This line is very important. She is getting the view that Jim had come. Mind you, this is Jim who had turned up. Okay, Jim had come up. Okay, now as in the come closer, Jim, dear, sit down. Now see here, Jim is mentioned. She is not understanding that is the author who has come with the letter, and Jim had died during the World War time and all these things. She didn't know. She was too old to understand all these things. Now here she is treating her as Jim, and last lines it's very sad to understand anyway. But the author, you see how he is dealing with the situation. "I read your letter so often, Jim." This is said by her. "And I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel where you were with me. And now you are. Now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear?" Now, that was a simple question from the lady. Now, author obliged. Obviously, he had to oblige because he did not destroy that feelings time. Understand, this is another thing which you need to keep in mind, that whenever there is a kind of these kind of feelings, you need to keep it up, that you need to help a kind of a person's feeling come back to life and give all the type of happiness during not only time of the Christmas, but also everything. The Christmas cake did not mind, the tea was not important. It was important that how you help a person to come back to life. So here Michael Mopugo is the author of this, and you went through many of the words that you can go stand. And if you go through that, now who did Coney McPherson think her visitor was? That's that simple answer I can give you is the author was thought to be as Jim McPherson. Which sentence text shows that is for you to understand at least something you do. Then you will understand that, and it's quite easy. Now everything will be given. Now working with the text. Now these questions, try doing it. We will come up with the solutions. Okay, I'll post you with the solutions and some more exercises. I hope you are in touch with grammar also. Formats will be sent. Everything. Go through everything, mind you. This is a time when you are locked down, I understand. but you need to be in touch with studies and everything. You enjoy your life there with your family, that bonding you create, help your parents, and this is the time when you should be remembering the school and your studies also. I think you are missing it. I am missing you, all of you. Okay, thank you very much. This is Bomik sir signing off. Thank you.